ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन क्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse 48 योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते। So we are seeing this verse, and in which of course the first definition of Karma Yoga is given, but we have pulled the other definition of Karma Yoga from verse number 50, and because they are interconnected, both the definitions are interconnected, and so now we are doing a deliberation on this second definition of Karma Yoga. Basically, one job of Karma Yoga is to make you a tranquil person, relatively, to make you free from Raga Dvesha, and to make you free from the hold of Raga Dvesha, and to make you a person who is free from anxiety. Your mind should be free from anxiety in order to study. So Karma Yoga is a sadhanam for a moksha. It's an indirect sadhanam for moksha. So what happens in absence of a Karma Yoga, our mind remains all the time with a lot of concerns, lot of anxiety. And along with the anxiety, when we listen, we are not able to either focus, or even though we have learned with the focus, but then again, due to anxiety, we are not able to imbibe. We are not able to internalize the knowledge. And so Karma Yoga is very essential to gain a qualification for study, etc. And we started Yoga Karma Sukaushalam. In that definition, we have seen, well, one who is expert. I mean, one who conforms, one who is able to interpret what is dharma involved in choice and or in action, and also able to conform to the dharma also. So what he is able to, this Karma Yogi is one who is able to do what is supposed to be done. And then in the process itself, he curtails his raga dveshas. Because generally what happens is, what is to be done I don't like, and what I am not supposed to do I like. And that is where the problem occurs. And so if you go by what is to be done, then definitely you are curtailing your likes and dislikes. Anyway, and we were seeing the talk actions, they are, the role of Ishvara in this action, in Karma Yoga rather. And in that we have started that. And we have seen that Jiva Srushti and Ishvara Srushti. And we also saw that everything is basically a Ishvara Srushti. Our physical body itself is not created by us. The powers that are necessary, of course, to create are not created by us. And this is all Ishvara Srushti. And it includes even all the laws. Ishvara Srushti includes all the laws, and therefore it includes even law of Dharma also. So these laws are not created by me. They are only, I am able to sense them. I am able to, like gravitation, I am able to sense it. And even monkeys also are able to sense the gravitation. Birds also seems to sense it. So they know what, when they want to fly, they must flap their wings in order to take off into the air. And so every creature seems to know instinctively some of the laws in the creation. And laws, that are instinctively known by animals or birds, etc., they are known by us through common sense. So the law of Dharma also is known to us in a same way. So without any, education, without being taught, I know what is right and wrong. And of course this knowledge, they generally call it as a conscience, but basically we say it is simply a common sense knowledge of dharma and adharma. 1 minute. So what is right and wrong? And it's a basic knowledge that everyone has about a fact that is already there in the creation. So just as other laws exist in the as a part of the creation, the law of Dharma also exists as a part of the creation. So if the Lord is a creator and the creation is non-separate from the creator, then the law of Dharma also, and laws are also non-separate from the creator, because the creation is non-separate from the creator. Laws are the part of creation. They are also non-separate from the creator, that is Ishvara. And therefore Dharma itself is a Ishvara. Basically all the laws are Ishvara because they are non-separate. Like pot is non-separate from the clay, then I can definitely say the pot is clay. Same way, whole entire creation along with the laws is non-separate from the creator Ishvara, and therefore every law is ultimately a creator, the Ishvara itself, and therefore law of Dharma also is basically Ishvara. This is a very important understanding in Karma Yoga. So with respect to actions, a certain attitude towards an action is very important. We said also the attitude of offering towards Ishvara, and that then you have how it is possible, etc. We are seeing that in that this is a very much important to know that the law of Dharma is Ishvara. So when I say the yoga karmasu kaushalam, basically, in conformity with the dharma, one has to do the action. That is karma yoga. Then it shows one should remain in harmony with the Ishvara. Conformity to dharma means conformity to Ishvara means harmony with the Ishvara. Harmony with the Ishvara. And then when you do and you choose an action in keeping with the harmony of Ishvara, well, definitely you enjoy also, because you are in harmony with the Ishvara. And that harmony always brings joy. Disharmony does not bring joy, and therefore, of course, we are seeing little details in that, but this is a very important aspect, that we are not, doing an action, choosing an action, let's say, in keeping with dharma for the sake of the society. No, it is for our own sake we are doing, and and to be in harmony with the Ishvara. And that brings a joy also, and that all curtails also ragadvesha. Anyway, so the law of dharma and the law of karma, of course. Law of dharma is within the law of karma, basically. So the law of karma also becomes Ishvara in the same way, and which is why we worship the Lord as a dharma, because dharma is Ishvara, and therefore we worship the Lord as a dharma, and have even given him, two legs and two hands, etc., and a head, and in the form of Rama. And therefore, so when we say Rama is an avatar, of course, we don't need history. That's all problem in India, is whether it is a historical or not. And of course, historian has proved that there was, Rama must have taken a avatar. Not avatar, but such a thing in Ayodhya, they have found so many things. Well, I am not going into detail, but basically, Vedanta. So basically, we are not interested whether Rama was a historical figure or not. Our concept of the Lord is being what He says, Such people, we say the Dharma itself is Ishvara, and then I want to worship Ishvara in the form of Dharma, then definitely I should give Him some name and form. And that name and form is Lord Rama. And so, then that is how, why should you give a name and form? Because I want to worship, I want to meditate upon. So, for the sake of worship and meditation, that's how, even whether history proves or not, we are not interested. For us, Rama was there, Rama is there, Rama will be there, because the creation was there, creation is, and creation will be. And as whenever the creation takes place, definitely law of dharma will be definitely there. Well, we will see that law of dharma, of course. So that is how this Rama, Krishna, etc., and others we present in a particular name and form for our worship, meditation, etc. Same way, Lord Krishna also is nothing but the joy personified. Lord Rama is a dharma personified. In the same way, Lord Krishna is a joy personified. Because basically Parmeshwara is Ananda Swarupa. And so, if we want to give a name and form to that Ananda Swarup Paramatma, how will you give? So then definitely you give to the Parmeshwara, two hands, two legs, a flute, and a particular posture, etc. And then with a flute in hand, and then a peacock feather and everything. And you see, in everything in Lord Krishna's form, everything depicts Ananda only. His eyes also, that's how there is a Madhurashtakam written by some Acharya, great Acharya. Everything is Madhuram. Means everything Madhuram means, don't think it's honey or something. Everything is very sweet. Everything is Ananda basically. So his eyes are Ananda, his walking is Ananda, his talking is Ananda, and his standing is Ananda, and everything. His flute is Ananda, and his feather is Ananda. Everything is Ananda. And so definitely it's Ananda Swarupa. Parmeshwara is Ananda Swarupa, full, complete. And then if you want to personify, you want to give some name and form for your own sake, not for the sake of, we are not obliging Ishvara by giving him some name and form so that other people will look up to him. No. We definitely need, for our own sake, if we want to worship and meditate, and therefore Ananda Swarup Paramatma, then we gave a name and form to him. And so that is Lord Krishna. So whether Krishna existed or Rama existed in history or not, it doesn't matter to Vedanta, really speaking. So Krishna is a particular name and form given to Parmeshwara, whose nature is joy, Ananda Swarupa. So Rama portrays the Lord as a dharma, and and you can, even other than that also we have given a certain name and form. Because the entire cosmos is his body. Entire cosmos is Ishvara. And that is, and there are various aspects which are functioning, functional aspects in the creation, because of which the whole creation is functioning rhythmatically. And therefore with rhythm. And therefore all these aspects are the aspects of Ishvara. And therefore when Lord looks upon, Lord is looked upon from a various aspect, various laws, intelligent laws, which is responsible for the function of the universe, a particular aspect. Same Ishvara is looked upon from a particular aspect, and I have explained you that is called Devata. And then to Devata also, Aspect is aspect. But I cannot worship the Devata without giving him some form and some name, etc. And so Agni Devata, Prithvi Devata, etc., etc. And then Vayu Devata, and even Varuna Devata, everything. Rain is equally important as the earth is equally important. Everything, I mean, the fire is important, then the air is important. Everything is important. Even the space is important, and space is worshipped. Space is worshipped in Chidambaram. And therefore, I mean, everything is important. If space is not there, how will we survive? I can't imagine. Just even if space is not there, you can't eat. The food cannot go inside. If food has to go inside, then there should be some space. So therefore, definitely, I mean, we cannot live. Even all other elements exist in space. Vayu, Agni, everything exists in space, which are very, very vital elements. Any element, if it becomes less in our body, definitely we will have to call emergency man, really. If fire, I mean, the temperature is going down, and then definitely it's a very severe problem. If body loses a certain beyond certain temperature, well, definitely it has to maintain a temperature of, I think, 98 Fahrenheit or 98 degree Fahrenheit or something. I mean, it's very, very essential. Fire is important. Water also. His body should have a certain amount of water, certain percentage of water. If it that's go, so that's how we have Jala Devata also. I mean, Varuna Devata and Indra Devata, both are responsible, one for the rain and one for the storage of water, etc. Anyway, so this is how all these aspects in the whole universe, and all ultimately everything is Ishvara. But I look upon Ishvara from the aspect of the Agni. So I call that Agni, well, as Agni Devata. This is how, and we have done. I think I have defined in the Tattva all these aspects, etc. And so, so this is how, so, and name and form we generally give to various aspects in the universe, because the whole universe is Ishvara, and because it is a material cause of the universe, and therefore it is present in every nook and corner of the universe. In fact, universe only manifests Ishvara only manifests in the form of name and forms, various names and forms, all names and forms. Anyway, so if you merely conform to dharma, basically you are an ethical person. But if you look upon dharma as a Ishvara, well, you worship that Lord by doing what is to be done at a given time and a place. So dharma is something, is already established, and you come to sense it. You are able to sense what is, you know exactly what is to be done. It's just a common sense. That's what we say. It is sensed by all human beings. In a given situation, what is to be done, nobody should tell you. Really speaking, nobody should tell you. And nobody is supposed to, nobody, even without saying to you, you know what is to be done. Because what you expect others in a given situation, you are supposed to do in that situation also. And therefore, what is to be done by you, you do. And then you are in conformity with the dharma. That is nothing but the Ishvara. And therefore, whatever you do is an offering to Ishvara. Of course, we'll look upon that particular statement a little more. So that is how Bhagavan said, Swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha, that by doing one's own karma, or by doing karma that is to be done by us, we are worshipping Ishvara. Swakarmana tam Ishvaram abhyarchati. So you are worshipping. Anyway, now, so a little more in this law of dharma we'll have to see. Why it is so important that what is to be done, for a human being, why it is so important that in a given situation he has to do what is to be done. So with reference to this cycle of creation, we say the Lord is creator and the world is of course born of him and sustained by him, etc. And it is not that it is once it is created and then Lord has gone to sleep, etc. It is constantly on. Every moment there are thousands of children born in the universe. Thousands of things are getting birth. Even the planets are taking, getting birth. We don't know it. So universe is so big. Some scientist had discovered a star 12 billion years away from here, 12 billion light years away. You can imagine what an distance from. They say that where that star, particularly the light, has traveled 12 billion years, and then in a second it is 1,86,000 miles or something. It can cover the distance, and it took 12 billion years. So then definitely that light has come to the earth, and we have noticed through the telescope, etc., whatever. And then definitely he is seeing the star which was there 12 billion years away. And definitely at that time, even the earth where he is standing right now and observing that earth was not there 12 billion years away. So what kind of a universe was there, he is able to tell now. 12 billion years ago, what kind of universe from that star? Because the light, when it gets reflected and comes to you, definitely then you are able to see the object. And so the light has traveled 12 billion years. So you are able to see the object which was 12 billion years away. I mean, 12 billion years ago, what kind of a star it was, well, now you are seeing now. And what is the position of that star right now? Well, it will take another 12 billion years. But then, so from that he's doing a lot of inference and presumption that what kind of a universe at that time must have been. And he says that even the earth was not there. This earth where he is standing and observing this, that earth was also not there. What I am saying is this universe is a mind-boggling thing. And that universe, large bodies are also taking birth at every moment, and smallest thing also. Even a grass right now, when I am talking to you, so many new grass must have have taken birth. So this is all, creation is on, we call it as. And definitely the sthiti, the existence also, or sustenance also is going on. Samhara, the dissolution, etc., resolution also is going on. And therefore, so the various living beings, of course, on this planet, trees, insects, everything, animals, all do exactly what is expected of them. That is very important to note. In this way, everything goes well. So, if you keep away a little human world, just leave aside the human being, then you find, they say also, if human being is not there, or intervention of human being is not there, presence of human being is not there, nature knows exactly how to keep a balance, because everybody is programmed, and therefore they don't transgress so-called dharma, their own dharma. Everyone behaves exactly what is to be in order that has to be behaved according to by them. Like a tree which is in front of me. He is designed to produce a oxygen and takes the carbon dioxide. Well, and it does the same way. It's not that it will start doing something reverse. Even if something reverse happens, like it starts consuming it starts consuming oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. That also is a programming. Under certain paradigms, it does that. So everything in the creation is behaving exactly in a way it should behave. And if human intervention is not there, everything takes care of itself. And no one either that's pandemic has proved. Of course, I need not talk much, because pandemic has proved the water has cleaned thousands of crores of rupees. Lord, our river Yamuna, 5,000 crores, that's a very big amount, may not be for United States, but for India it's a big amount for cleaning the Yamuna river. Most polluted river near Delhi, that's the Yamuna. And 5,000 crores they have already spent. Nothing happened. Part of it might have been taken, siphoned away, etc. That's a different matter. But they might have used a lot of money. Nothing happened. But in these 2 months, it automatically got clean. They have shown they have released the videos, everything. Everything has cleaned. And I mean, the pollution has gone to a very minimum level, everything. So that shows that if human intervention is not there, the entire creation knows to live in harmony with each other. There will not be any kind of an imbalance, ecological imbalance or anything. So they are all programmed for what is to be done by them. They exactly do. The sun does exactly what he is supposed to do. The air does exactly what it is supposed to do. The earth does exactly what it is supposed to do. And then fire does what it is supposed to do. Suppose fire decides tomorrow morning, no, I don't want to give heat. Swamiji, that is not possible. I am comparing with the human being. That's what a human being does. Why human being does that question we will discuss later. But human being does. One day he will help you. He will help from morning to evening. Next day he will not get up from the cot. He will remain in the bed. Yes, that's how he. That's why this what is to be done and etc. for dharma etc. is so important. Other than human being in the creation, animals, birds, plants, entire, in fact all elements. Of course I am talking about sentient because you will say the inert thing, what is dharma for inert thing? Okay, but other than that, of course for us there is nothing called inert. That's how I have told you, there is nothing called earth. It is a earth devata we say. Because the whole creation is basically a manifestation of Parameshwara, and therefore whole creation is a conscious entity. It's a conscious entity. And like my body is a conscious. Same way Ishvara's body, the entire universe is conscious. And that is we can see that if in a conscious body, all the parts are functioning in harmony with each other here. Once the conscious being leaves from this, there is no harmony between the different limbs of the body, physical body. And therefore, if all the limbs are functioning harmoniously, there must be a single self behind, a single consciousness behind the entire body. That's what is here. Same way that in that body also, it is exactly like that. And therefore, everything is working harmoniously. Therefore, every limb is a conscious entity, and that is how we call them as a devata, etc. Anyway, so even Prithvi is a limb of it. That's how they say. So there is a Vishwarupa Dhyanam, and in Vishwarupa Dhyanam always this has been shown like this, like the earth is the feet of the Lord, and then the bladder is nothing but this ocean. Ocean is the bladder of the Ishvara, etc., etc. Sun and moon are the eyes. And then the Veda is its speech, and then this air is its prana, etc., etc. And then the middle part is this antariksham, the in between what is the space, and then heaven is his head, etc., etc. So many things are told, and all the plants and etc. are the hair and etc. from on the body of Ishvara, and therefore these are the way it has been described in any Vishwarupa Dhyana. And most of our Dhyana shlokas are depicting Ishvara in this form only. Anyway, so everything is a limb of, ultimately, in the universe is a limb of Ishvara. And then everything is conscious. And every limb being conscious contributes in this body. What it is supposed to do, it does. Kidney does exactly what it is supposed to do. Heart does what it is exactly supposed to do. The head does what it is exactly what it is supposed to do. It exactly does that way. And eyes, ears, everything. And while doing that, they are in harmony with each other. Very well. They may do their own functions, but that creates a disharmony. But their functions are such that they are in harmony with each other. And they throughout the life they do same thing. What it is supposed to do, they do. That's all. Please remember this. What every limb is supposed to do, it does. It does. And that is called the dharma of a kidney. That is called the heart of the kidney. Dharma of a heart, and dharma of a eyes, dharma of a ears, and dharma of a speech. What it is supposed to do, it does. It just does not, it does not have a convenience. It doesn't have a fancy that, okay, let me do behave little differently today. It doesn't. And if you find it behave little differently, understand that programming is right there. If you say it is funny because you have not understood that programming, that's the thing. And scientists are in the process of understanding every phenomena, even the exceptions, etc. And they will bring out that law. What we call as exceptions or violation or a convenience or a fancy, in creation there is nothing fancy. Everything is behaving as per the law. So everything is observing its own dharma. Own dharma. And while doing what they are supposed to do, they see that everything will be in harmony. So whole universe, like whole body, works as a one organic whole. Same way, this also, the entire universe works as a whole, one organic whole. And we have seen in this pandemic, when the human intervention or interference becomes less, the presence of human being becomes less, then definitely you find the nature in its fullest beauty and harmony also. So definitely, being programmed, the tree does exactly what it has to do. I mean, if it has to make chlorophyll, it will make chlorophyll. If it is not in its programming, if it has not to make chlorophyll, it will not make chlorophyll, and still it will contribute in the creation. It will survive, etc., etc., and it will contribute. Of course, everyone is a contributor. Other than human being, everyone is a contributor. What is to be done is a contribution, basically. And they are doing. Sun, starting from the sun, every limb of Ishvara just does a job of total sacrifice. Total. No residue left. Except it's only one mantra they have. And that mantra is of a sacrifice, offering. That's a mantra. In here also you can, if you can't appreciate that, of course anyone can appreciate if they look into the creation. And if you are not able to appreciate, look it into the body. Every component is basically does a job of merely offering. That is the dharma. By my kidney functions, kidney does exactly what it is supposed to do, and by doing that, it is definitely a job of offering to this organic whole, offering for the well-being of the entire body. Anyway, so this is so Ishvara, and now let's go further. So universe is doing, every component is doing and observing what it is supposed to do, and they are doing what they are supposed to do, etc. That's one thing. But then universe is Ishvara, and therefore Ishvara himself in the form of this very world, very creation, and therefore every blade of grass is what it is, and it is Ishvara. And every blade of grass is doing one job. What it is supposed to do, it does throughout its life. Whatever the life of the blade of grass, it will do exactly what it is supposed to do. And if you want to put in one word, that it is doing a job of offering to the entire universe. Every blade of grass has an offering. Being a blade of grass, very minute offering, very negligible offering we in our language, because our measuring rod is different. Our measuring rod is always a material well-being, and therefore in so far as material well-being is concerned, how much material well-being it has produced. That's what our modern management gurus will tell. How you can produce maximum material well-being. Whatever happens to that person, let it happen to but how maximum it can produce material well-being, maximum profit for the company, this and that. It's anyway, what I am saying is, if you look into the creation, is even a most negligible thing also has to contribute. Even a flower, a flower which grows from a bird, that flower has to contribute. Even a bird has to contribute. Everything has to contribute. And therefore, and so Ishvara is doing contribution, because universe is nothing but Ishvara. and Ishvara is contributing in the entire being. I mean, every limb is also, every entity here, it may be animal, bird, plant, whatever, is contributing. I mean, contributing means what it is supposed to do in a given scheme of things. It is doing it. It's exactly like a symphony in which there are so many, in orchestra there are so many, I mean, the this sing we can say they play their own instruments, but and some of the even the people, they have their turn will come once in 15 minutes in the entire orchestra, just once in a 15 minutes, but it will play, it has its role. That role is, you and me may not know the role. We feel that most of them should be removed because many have the same instruments. Then we feel why only one is required, why 10 people? But it has a role. If you ask to a conductor of that orchestra, he will tell you, he will explain you what is the role of even a smallest a person who plays this music and plays this instrument. And so everyone behaves exactly like what it has supposed to do, and therefore, or does exactly what they are supposed to do, and therefore Ishvara is doing what he is supposed to do. That's what we have to say at the end of it. Ishvara is doing what he is supposed to do. And so Ishvara is doing what he is supposed to do. That is the law of dharma. And therefore dharma is nothing but a Ishvara, and he is observing. If you observe the creation, you will find he is doing what he is supposed to do. And though only human being who is not programmed, well, he can deviate himself from that. So when it comes to human being, of course, even a small child, you will find a difference. Like if you call that puppy, that dog, it wakes the tail and comes every time because it connects your calling by name, and then there you will show some cookie or something, and then immediately it will come. But if you call a young child like that, and you keep a cookie or chocolate, whatever, in hand, and you call him by his name, and he may come, he may not come. And that is what, because this is a human being is special in this creation, because he or she is a complete person with a will of her or own, and and that is asserted, that will is asserted from childhood onwards. So, and therefore, depending upon his free will, of course, he has a choice to come to you or he may not come to you. And that is why all the time, some guest comes and then you call your child and tell to sing a prayer and everything. And before guest before guest came, you told them and you taught them a prayer. And then he said, Swamiji is coming for Bhiksha, etc. And at that time you chant this prayer, you tell a child. And so you sing that prayer. And then, definitely, so it will sing beautifully in absence of Swami. But when Swami comes, and then parent will call and say, okay, sing that prayer, beta. So it won't. No, it won't. Why? Because if the child is at all concerned about what others will think, well, there is no way that he or she will perform that, or he or she will sing that prayer. So, and this is a problem of a human being. Even as an adult also, most of our worries are based on what others will think, definitely. And there is a genuine problem. It's a very genuine problem. And definitely, this is the problem where other living beings do not have this problem. And so, when a cow wants to, to make a noise, it does without, in fact, bothering about what others will think. And the dog, all the time, we have that problem in Ahmedabad. Whenever some class is going on, especially not in ashram, but then we go out to take a class in a particular area and something. And there, if the class is going on and the dog starts barking, and we feel the dog should not bark right now because the class is going on. But dog does not have, if a dog wants to bark, it will bark. It will not bother what you will think, what Swami thinks or what others will think. It doesn't bother. Same way anyone, even a lion roars, of course, they also they also do not concern themselves with what others will think. And the best example is frogs. Especially in monsoon, when the rain falls, and then the water gets clogged somewhere, and you will find in the evening all the frogs, they sit near that water body, and in the vicinity of that water, and then they put on a concert, and that racket that creates that sound, a dreadful sound. You cannot sleep whole night. You just can't sleep. So much of noise. But frogs are not at all concerned that with what you are, even a musician. Suppose a musician's house is there nearby, then they will not have that concern. That we are also playing this such a wonderful music, but whether it is in as per the Shruti or not, we because this musician is listening our music, and he will be very much bothered with our music because we are in the tune with the Shruti, etc. So what he must be thinking of us, what a musician must be thinking of us, they don't care. They keep on. They have their own music. So only human beings have the problem. A musician will definitely have a problem, but a frog in the neighborhood does not have that problem. Musician will definitely, if he chants, if he plays a music loudly, then he thinks that if in a vicinity there are other musicians, well, he may think that I may be playing with Shruti or Apashruti is there, etc. He will definitely think. But this frog, etc. will not, or a cow or a dog or even a donkey, no one bothers about that. Why a human being has this problem? Because we have a free will and a self-image. Because the free will is there and self-consciousness is complete. And definitely self-consciousness is complete. I am conscious of myself totally. And therefore there is going to be a self-image, self-conclusion will be there. And half of that my self-image depends on what others think about us, think about me. So definitely the human being is entirely human being basically who is conscious of himself. So they are entirely different and are not going to do exactly what is to be done unless they decide to do so. Other than human being will have no choice to decide for what is to be done. They will do they will do exactly what is to be done. But human being may decide, may not decide because of self-image. I have given you an example of the child. Merely in your presence, it sang very well that prayer. But when the guest comes, he may come and he may sing a prayer or may not sing, because that self-image is there. Suppose in the child, it appears is a little concern that what that Swami would think about me, suppose, then there is no way that he will chant that prayer. So that shows the human being has the self-image which definitely makes him. They may not do what he is supposed to do. If he decides to do what is to be done, then definitely he will do. But if he decides what is to be done, if he decides not to do what is to be done, you cannot make him do as per the dharma, etc., what is to be done. So in the process of growth, a person picks up hundreds of ragadveshas, and depending upon one's self-image. And such fences are always there, and we find that the convenience is usually the order that we follow. And we see this evidence that convenience is our nature. Wherever there is a sign saying, they say post no bills. Well, I myself saw at one place here in United States So even you put that board, there will even be a bill stuck on the right on the top of that very sign, perhaps so that the problem will disappear. Means that should not be looked upon, etc. I mean, it's a convenience is often the governing factor in a human action, and that convenience, of course, is basically nothing but our ragadveshas, our fancies. So we want what is convenient, what is pleasant. Easy gratification is exactly what human beings go for. So if some work, pain, of course, or effort is involved, we want to avoid it. And the human disposition is like that, going after very easy, quick gratification, wanting only, what pays off immediately. And therefore, based on his own, this ragadveshas, definitely I may do what I am supposed to do. I may not do what I am supposed to do. And therefore, one can go against dharma and against the Lord, definitely. And to go against that order, which is Lord, and we call it as a adharma. Because dharma is Ishvara. And so you go against dharma, basically, means you are going against Ishvara, then we say, you have chosen inaction, which is called adharma. And so, definitely then what is to be, I should understand that basically what I am supposed to do, I should do it. I have a choice, and what is to be done, I should know first in a given situation, and I should do exactly as per that, because the entire creation is doing what it is supposed to do, and the creation is nothing but Ishvara, and therefore Ishvara in every form as though is doing what it is supposed to do. And therefore, starting from blade of grass or anything, everything is a manifestation of Ishvara, and therefore everything is doing what it is supposed to do, and it is doing exactly that way, and therefore I am also supposed to do that way. Then if I do that way, then I am in harmony with the Ishvara. Anyway, so the creation operates according to this same order, the order of dharma. There is definitely a reason, and therefore everything in the creation has a role to play, definitely, because everything is doing, contributing, offering, and therefore everything is born in the creation has a role to play, and therefore I am also born, then I have definitely some role to play. Even though I am born maybe accidentally, sometimes it happens so that the parents do not want a child and got conceived or etc. And somehow you are born, and if you come to know that your parent did not want you and you have born etc., you feel also unwanted. Definitely, but still when you are here in a given situation at a given time with a certain body etc., and then definitely I also have something to contribute in the creation. So I have to understand that even if a blade of grass, without the blade of grass, the creation is incomplete, because everything is contributing, and therefore if the blade of grass is not there, the creation is incomplete. Same way, if I am not there, the creation is incomplete, and Ishvara has given me a birth, and therefore I am not unwanted, and therefore I should also contribute that through my action. So if you see a purpose in everything in the world, then definitely I should not take my presence as a non-worthy. And even like in our body, everything has a role to play. I don't know, somehow the many surgeons in India, they say this gallbladder has no role to play. Anything happens. Somehow lots of stones etc. I think are produced in the gallbladder, and maybe then because of that maybe stomach pain or something. But they are so enthusiastic to remove that gallbladder. I asked one surgeon, he said, Swami, it doesn't have much role to play. But I'm sure that we must have ignorance regarding the function of a gallbladder. Maybe having a function, and medicine and medical field must have discovered it also. But somehow in the entire system, they find that even this has not much big role to play. Well, they will discover in the future that it has also a good role to play. Anyway, so same way, even any part in our body has a role to play, and therefore it is created, and therefore I am also created, even though my parents did not want, or I feel that I am unwanted, etc. But I have to keep aside that feeling, and I should understand that I am equally important in the creation. I have roles to play and things to do. Ishvara's job is going on, and I am they say, I am also having a minor part to play in that. And so this being the case, well, naturally, I have to, I'm supposed to do a job here. I'm supposed to act. So I have to know that at a given time and place, a particular job is there, and that I have to do that job, and that way I have to contribute in the creation. This is called swakarma. Swakarma means I have a given job at a given time and at a place, and which I am supposed to do. And you will always find, if you are sensitive enough, you will always find in a given place and at a given time, well, definitely something is there for you to contribute. Some, in terms of action I am talking, and therefore I should do that way. So that's called swakarma. Just as every animal and every tree contributes to the great creation, well, you too also make your contribution. So starting from blade of grass, as I've told you, and therefore everything contributes, and so I also should contribute. In a given situation, whatever I do, the smallest thing. I heard our Swami V was telling before, I think when in a Bhagavad Gita class or in that the recent class, that don't think that you have no role to play. You have also very even the smallest role, but it has a contribution in the creation. And so, well, definitely I too make a little contribution. So swakarmana tamabhyarchya, and whatever be my karma, of course, that very karma becomes an offering to the entire creation, which is nothing but Ishvara. So this is called swakarmana tamabhyarchya. Offering to the creation, offering to the Ishvara is what? This is the offering. So because Ishvara is doing that job, and I also am supposed to do that job. Ishvara is doing all the time what is supposed to be done. Ishvara is in the form of dharma. Ishvara has manifested in the form of various names and forms, and every form is doing exactly what it is supposed to do and contributing to the entire universe, and therefore I am also a part of the creation. I am also created, and therefore I am not unwanted, and therefore in a given time, at a given time and a given place, under given situation, I have a role to play, and I should play, whether small or big. I am supposed to play. That is called an offering to Ishvara. Or we can say, this is we should choose an action in such a way that we will be in harmony with the Ishvara. And that's the only way is your action is in conformity with dharma. That is, in conformity with what is to be done. And then definitely your likes and dislikes have no client to, he doesn't, they don't get support. So they hang on in your mind for some time and they die natural death. So Bhagavan says, by doing what is to be done by you at a given time, you are worshipping him. So because of your recognition of Ishvara, of course, whatever action you perform is your offering, archana. Swakarmana tam abhyarchya. Abhyarchya means doing archana, that is offering. That's a contribution to the Lord, and that Lord is nothing but the creation. So contributing in the creation is nothing but contributing to the Lord. So you offer your action unto the Lord, who is in the form of the creation, who continues to do the job of creation. And you are also one of his limbs. You perform your role, and which is very important. Even though it is very small, a small and big, it is always in terms of a material gain. It's always in terms of material gain. Otherwise, really speaking, if you look at from the standpoint of a spirituality, well, every single action has a big role. Because by doing that way, with this attitude, of course, if you do a karma, you are definitely growing. You are growing above your ragadvesha, coming out of the hold of ragadvesha. And that's so important, very, very important. So this kind of a attitude behind the action is possible for the people who want to grow spiritually, who want to have a different goal in the life. And that's how we already said before, Karma Yoga is possible only when you decide that the moksha is a goal of the life. Otherwise not possible. No, otherwise not possible. The people who have interest in only material well-being, he will not agree with all these things. He says I will do the actions which will give me some material benefit. Here you are saying you are offering means by offering you are not getting anything. What you are going to get? What a grass is getting by way of offering? It is getting. When they work in harmony with each other, each one contributes for the well-being of the other. That is called harmony. Not that on the one side, from like trees, something, I don't know what is there. So, consider the trees and myself. Trees are contributing. In which way? They are giving me oxygen. And then I also contribute to them by giving carbon dioxide. Or at least other way also, contribution. That you plant a tree and water the plant, etc. You don't cut the tree, at least you that much obligation. You don't cut the trees, etc. You take care of them, nourish them, give watering them, etc., giving them manure, etc., whatever. So you take care and they take care of you. This is how it is. And that is called harmony. Disharmony will be what? One is all the time offering and other is taking the advantage. Then there is no offering. So it is from both the sides. And therefore, definitely, even if you have an attitude of offering, in fact, right now you and me are sitting and discussing all this because the whole universe has functioned, whole universe has worked for us right now. Really, all are working. Even in a dinner plate I am going to get in a dining room, well, the whole creation has worked. Swami, we used to tell that if for your one chapati, the whole creation is required. 1 cup of tea, sometimes he was telling 1 cup of tea. If 1 cup of tea, if you start thinking, and let me know tomorrow, it will not require less than a creation. Whole creation, starting from sun, water, earth, everything, air, fire, everything is required, and the human being also is required. So that you get a you get a packet of the tea leaves. It is everyone is required, distributors and wholesalers and that one and this one and machines and whatnot and scientists and technocrats and everything, all are required. Farmers and everything required. Rain and ocean, everything. Imagine your cup of tea needs ocean. So it is not. But anyway, no action is small or big. Literally speaking, once you come on this path, no action is big or small. If you consider something big or small, or you consider some action as not important, some action is more important, then definitely you have importance of a material you have importance of a material well-being. And therefore, otherwise, every action, when you consider is an offering to Ishvara or offering to the entire universe, offering to the creation, which is nothing but Ishvara, well, then onwards, this person's growth will be like leaps and bounds. By every action, he is coming out of his own ragadvesha. And such a person definitely is called yogi. He is called yogi. He will get a shravana, he will do shravana mananam and will get a nishtha. But for him it is very simple. To gain knowledge is very simple because he is qualified. Once you are qualified definitely for a particular knowledge, then you definitely gain the knowledge. The struggle in the gaining knowledge is not because of something else. It is because we are not qualified, then we are not able to gain knowledge. And even if the knowledge occurs in our mind, we are not able to sustain it. Because the mind is agitated by these two shatrus, these two enemies. Keep your mind all the time agitated, ragadvesha. This is the only way, very ingenious way, and of course, which is a fact. The action has to be done in this way only. The human being is supposed to do what he is. Human being should do what he is supposed to do, because the whole creation is doing, and by observing the dharma, following the dharma, the whole creation is helping you for your well-being, is offering, is sustaining your life, and therefore you are also supposed to do that way. And therefore we are not obliging by following a dharma in a choosing an action. Anyway, so everyone basically has to play a role. So each of you has our own job to do, and when we do it, then what happens, then you are in harmony with Ishvara. If I do what I am supposed to do, I am in harmony with Ishvara, and that is the reason why whenever you do exactly what you have to do, well, you find satisfaction. That's there. You think from tomorrow. You think from tomorrow that whenever you do exactly what you are supposed to do, you find satisfaction. So even if it is something which you do not want to do, but once you do it, you feel great about it. Like I give an example of a very simple action called doing laundry or etc. I think that is basically Puju Swami's example. You're doing laundry once a week, but the day I do, somehow I feel great about it. So this is how it is. So doing exactly what I have to do, well, then definitely you feel great about it. Why? Because I am in harmony with Ishvara. Because Ishvara is doing that. Ishvara is doing what he is supposed to do. Exactly he is doing that. How can you say he is doing that? Look at the creation. Start from tomorrow. Start from the sun. You will find the sun does exactly what it is supposed to do. And if it doesn't do what it is supposed to do, he may go on live tomorrow. You see what happens to the creation. You see, and if the leave continues because of pandemic, definitely we'll have another pandemic, in which it will be a disaster. It will be a big disaster. If sun does not follow the dharma, don't think about anything else then later. I'm telling you that's sufficient. So, and sun is a manifestation from Ishvara. So Ishvara is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. And therefore, if you do exactly what you are supposed to do, you are in harmony with Ishvara. And that is why, even without enjoying any sense object, somehow when you do what you are supposed to do, and then you find some kind of a joy, you find a satisfaction, because you are in alignment with Ishvara. When you are in alignment with Ishvara, in harmony with Ishvara, there is joy. That is the joy. Because Ishvara is Ananda Swarupa. And therefore, if you go against it, definitely maybe material wealth may be more. If you don't observe dharma, etc., in your life, dharma is not there for the sake of fulfillment of your ragadvesha, and ragadveshas are all for material well-being, and you do that way, you may accumulate so much of wealth and so much of objects, so-called objects of pleasure. It will be there, definitely. So-called objects of security also will be there, but you will not have joy. You will have objects, but you will not have joy. And that's everyone's experience. Since I have more objects of joy, I have 10 cars, therefore I am really more happy. Not so, sir. Not so. I have 5 houses, big houses, and I have 1 farmhouse. That I am more happy than any other person. Don't think so. He may be crying, he may be taking a sleeping pill, he is not able to even getting a joy of a sleep also. Don't think so. And you and me may be enjoying the food. He's on the diet. He's on the diet. He already has a cholesterol and diabetes and whatnot, and blood pressure and whatnot. And he is eating that puff rice and that what we call as a dry chapati So where our happiness? What is joy of life? We feel the joy of life is accumulation of wealth, accumulation of power, accumulation of this, accumulation of objects. More material well-being is more joy. It's reverse. It's reverse. Most of the people have realized it. So-called our buddhijivis, all the so-called our intellectuals, rationals also have analyzed this, and they are talking something different now. In the process, one has lost oneself. In the process of gaining material well-being and thereby discovering that I am a very joyful person, well, he has lost himself totally. So going against dharma, rubbing against the dharma which is Ishvara, you are at loss, not Ishvara. That's how you remember the Pujya Swamiji's example. So if you rub your the shoulder against that the bark of the tree, a big tree, healthy tree, and you rub, don't think that the bark will be rubbed. You will not be able to wear this shirt etc. for a few days. Anyway, so if you remain in harmony with Ishvara, well, you have a joy without enjoying a sense object. And that's how anytime when you do any benevolent action, you always find that you have satisfaction. A joy is there. And doing that benevolent action, definitely I tell you, you might have sacrificed many joys which are available in your home, because for that doing that job you might have gone somewhere for serving somebody and even have taken a lot of pain also. By taking a lot of pain in the action, you are having satisfaction. That is another equation. So dharma itself is a very big purushartha. Anyway, so following conformity with the dharma definitely that is yoga. Offering our action to Ishvara is nothing but following the dharma, and that is way Ishvara is doing. I am also doing, and therefore I am in harmony with the Ishvara, because Ishvara is doing exactly in this creation right now, at this moment. Right now he is doing that, and therefore I am also supposed to do that way. So this recognition is of course a not ordinary thing, it's a vision. So to be in harmony with the world, well, with what is to be done, with the law of dharma that governs karma, of course, is a karma yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. So you choose your karmas recognizing Ishvara as a dharma. Then your action becomes a form of a archana. Every action is nothing but a form of a archana to Ishvara. And this attitude of course results into antakaran shuddhi. Definitely your mind will be free from ragadvesha or the hold of ragadvesha. And this purification of mind, of course, and then jnanam is not far away. So this is a second definition of karma yoga. We have finished. Om Purnamadav Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.